I think I've been introduced already, so I'm not going to waste my 20 seconds in introducing it. So recommendations, what I'm going to talk about, not about what Staples does on recommendation, but generally what is a recommendation, why do we do it from e-commerce, right? Why do we do it in e-commerce, and what are we going to get out of that, right, from a customer perspective and also from a business perspective. So that's what I'm going to talk about. So if you look at this picture, this is about information overload. The one thing that recommendation does is, it minimizes the information overload, right? So when you go to a site and we sell millions of products, as a customer you come in, I don't know what you're looking for, so I can't just show you irrelevant products, right? So I need to be on, like I need to understand who you are and then show products. Whoa. This is my first time, right? So what that does is, by reducing the information overload and helping the product discovery for your customers, you're going to earn loyalty through that. That's really what it is from a customer focused perspective, right? From a business perspective, the advantage is going to be really like, for customers who are like indecisive and they're like trying to think, what should I buy, whether I should convert or not, you're making them, you're forcing them to make the purchase by doing the right recommendations at the right time, right? So that's the advantage of giving the recommendations. Couple of thoughts within recommendations. You could do cross-sell and upsell. All of them, the focus on recommendations is going to be quickly convert your customer, make sure the average basket size is also increased for your company. So you're basically growing the top line of your company as well as you're converting the customers really well, right? So that's what we're talking about here, right? Conversion rate, focus on both. Sometimes, when you're doing recommendations, most people say, oh, I'm doing an AOV play, average order size play. That means you also have to make sure that your conversion rate stays the same, so you're both growing your top line and also, acquiring new customers by converting them. So those are the, aspects of that. So in terms of focus, where would you focus on recommendations on an e-commerce site? The two big things, I don't know if you can see this, the bottom left is the SKU page, the bottom right is the cart page. So those are two areas where you can safely focus on, because you also want to minimize distractions when the customer is looking for something. So there are two types of recommendations you can think about. One is really personalized, like, today it's all about you, you focused on that customer, whoever it is, right? So that's one way of doing recommendation. Another way of doing recommendation is like you may just say, here are my top sellers, here are my top rated products, here are my deals, right? It's like, obey our recommendation, I don't care about, who you are, right? So you see both on both, most of the sites. Amazon, you see like, our top deals, our trending SKUs and whatnot. You also see recommended for you based on your browse history and things of that nature. So what kind of data goes into recommendation? A lot of data goes into recommendation. So we do predictive modeling based on a bunch of data facts. But I'm going to just touch upon customer reviews, physiography, demography, your purchase history, your browse history. It could be your search history as well. I can take like, where you come from, all those can be mixed and figure out what should be the right recommendation for you. In terms of what kind of items you offer through recommendations, you can offer alternate items through recommendation. You can also offer complement items through recommendation, right? And then this bottom line is the generic recommendation we are talking about, where there's just no sense to it. It's like, it's what's trending on your site. So then this is how really the recommendation engines work, right? In terms of, how do you do user-to-user collaborative filtering or item-to-item collaborative filtering. So that's really like, these guys are similar, this guy is buying all these 3 items, he's buying only those 2, then offer the drinks to him as a recommendation. So I'll go deeper into it, where it can be done through many number of methods. Collaborative filtering, content-based, and hybrid methods are the 3 top ones you will hear about. So content-based is really based on the product and the attributes itself. If you bought a product with certain attributes, and if you recommend other product with similar attributes to it. Collaborative filtering can be divided into 2 different ways: user-based filtering and item-based filtering. The math of this, maybe we can talk about it. I have only 20 seconds after this. We can talk about the math of it. It's pretty cool. So the 2 ways of doing item-based filtering is actually invented by Amazon, because user-based filtering is a bit complex in terms of mathematical and real-time calculations. So item-based filtering is famous as well. It can be done offline. Content-based recommendation we talked about, it's really based on similarities of the 2 products. It's the same concept. It measures the distance between 2 products to figure out if they are similar or not, and in the recommendation happens based on that. Some people they do both actually. They do both content-based and collaborative filtering, and then they merge them together to whatever makes sense for that particular moment on the site, right? I don't know who in big e-commerce players doing it, but this is also gaining a lot of momentum in the hybrid recommendation. Some data points, 73% of customers prefer personalized shopping experience. You can also see it increases sales by 20% and profits by 30%. These are studies done by Forrester and Gartner and those kind of folks. And then some e-commerce sites where you see this right trail recommendation on a per SKU page. I'm showing this for a good reason because these things are above the fold when you're looking at in a small desktop. Just showing the above the fold recommendation increases conversion by 2%. And then this is the generic recommendation we were talking about. I don't know who the customer is. I'm just going to throw here are the special offers my site offers, and here are the recent products that either my site onboarded. But if I have history, I may show what products that you have seen on my site before. So those are, and then to end the presentation with, I'm just going to grab a drink. So I just wanted to jokes aside, right? So if you look at it, the way they are tagging these products like bestsellers and new, this is a sort of recommendation if you think about it. Just by, it's a cool way of doing recommendation that instead of showing bestseller carousel or new carousel, they're just showing that, they're tagging the product.
Nice.
So,
you were ahead on a couple of those.
I was like,